Hello, everybody, and welcome right around the world, to be fair, because continually hearing internationally, hashtag NBL Overtime has been trending in some parts of the world. Which ones, I can't tell you right now, but to get involved, there it is. What are you looking at? Homicide in the house, how you doing?
What's going on? Where's the trending?
Look, I don't want to go too deep into it, but we do go internationally. Hey, the podcast... Up front, on fire, my man. Congratulations. Yeah, it's going good?
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Episode 3. We're shooting tomorrow. Plenty to discuss on that as well.
Well, I feel left out because I'm the only person right now who doesn't have a basketball podcast. You've got Up Front, which isn't all about basketball, but links it in. And, of course, The Huddle made massive news last week with Brian Goorjian, my man Liam Santamaria. Hello to you.
What's happening, man?
How long did Gorge take to mention us? Honestly.
He watched the show. He enjoyed the chat about the Boomers team. And he liked to just put us back in our place a little bit and say, well, you're not thinking about this and that.
All right, there you go. If you haven't caught it yet, make sure you check it out, both Up Front and The Huddle. But let's get into what has been and was an incredibly fun weekend. Great basketball, great theatrics, great late-time game winners, and, of course, great celebrations. We'll start. Let's go to you, man, because you're a Sean Bruce guy. And he stands up in the biggest of moments, not just hits the shot, but also gives us a little celebration, which rocks the basketball world.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Sean Bruce fan, but I didn't know he had the showmanship with him. When he put them to sleep, a la Steph Curry, that took it to a whole nother level. We've seen this before. Another guy coming off the bench. Kawhi did it a couple weeks ago on his birthday, and they celebrate in front of the owners and the CEO, and I mean, it was just a fantastic shot. To me, personally, outside of that shot, they had no business winning this game. I mean, think about what happened prior to him hitting this shot. They're down 2. Tim Conrad,
come on, man.
One of the most reliable free throw shooters since being in the NBL. Tim Conrad, shout out to him. Misses both.
Come on.
Both?
Since when?
Dude, since when? Exactly. I mean,
since Andrew Gaze mozzed him as he went to the foul line on the broadcast.
Dude, man, like, things have gone. I mean, look, great shot, Sean Bruce. Love the celebration. Love the showmanship at the end. That was classic.
Classic.
That was classic. But I just feel so bad for Illawarra Hawks, man. Like, it's bad, Liam. It's bad over there.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we'll talk about the Hawks and the heartbreak in a sec. But sometimes you've got your best player out, you're playing the bottom team, they're actually outplaying you, you've got no right winning the game, and that's when it's impressive, when you can find a way to get that done. And hats off to Sean. The take a couple of possessions before that, heads up play. He told me yesterday on the huddle that Chase Buford told him, hey, keep it, get the quick 2. Heads up play. And then the way they exit, same spot almost as the Quatnoy hit against Cairns. I was a bit surprised by the way the Hawks defended that play just quietly. If you have a bit of a close look, usually in this situation, it's switch everything. Switch everything in a situation like that. You bring it up right here. The Kawhi screen, hats off, great screen. I don't know why this wasn't a switch. So you see, here comes the screen, here comes Sean Bruce off this action, and how does he get open? Because as you roll the vision now, Kawhi slaps on the screen. There's the passing angle. No, switch. Switch everything, I would have thought, in this situation. And then a beautiful pass by Angus Glover. I love the fact he threw it to him right in the moment and bang. And then, of course, Sean Bruce, the best trash talker in the game, grabbed the moment, put him to bed and said, good night, arch rivals, off you go.
Yo, he put him to sleep. I did not see that coming, man. Oh, my goodness. Shout out to Sean Bruce.
You mentioned it as well. We talked to the depth of this Sydney Kings team, and, of course, the depth last year helped them win the championship. It helps when Ian Clark's coming off the bench as well. But the depth of it, if you look who was on the floor in that particular moment, and, of course, when you're missing Xavier Cooks, you've got to cobble together players and rotations at different times to be able to keep the scoreboard in particular ticking over. But you mentioned Quatnoy, bench player. So now, talented and play minutes. So I'm not suggesting like these are dudes that just play a minute a game. But Quatnoy, bench player, gives us one huge moment in must-win games. You've got to keep getting the dubs going, in particular against a team like Cairns, who are building so much more momentum, and that one against the arch rival. Again, another guy predominantly off the bench who both stand up, have ice in their veins, and that is, honestly, we talk about Adam Ford, we talk about Scott Roth, but that is what Chase Buford continually drums into these players. At the moment when it arises, it's your opportunity, and they both took it and ran with it.
They've got absolute confidence and faith that they can get things done. Now, that whole team, off the back of the championship, the whole atmosphere that exists within that group, from top to bottom, they all feel like they can get the job done.
I mean, look, the successful teams this year we're seeing player coaches. You know, I mean, think about this. When Gleason was here and they reigned supreme, you got to do it Gleason's way. Mm-hmm. The three coaches right now that are getting the most out of their teams, Coach of the Year candidates, Marty Mayor, Adam Ford, Chase Buford, they're all impressive in their own way. Chase Buford, due to the fact that they lost their best trio, right? And for them to be sitting in first place, that's impressive. With guys, everybody buys in, new additions to the team are making their mark, coming off the bench. You know, that's very impressive. New imports coming in, filling the void, and it's no disrespect to the guys that left, but we're not even talking about those guys that left. That's impressive. Marty Mayor, look, we'll get to him shortly, but impressive.
We will.
I'll tell you what, though. Impressive.
And I'll tell you what,
I don't know out of those three who's winning Coach of the Year, but whoever would win Coach of the Year would be like well-deserved. All three of those guys, only one could win, but it's a three-horse race.
Australian contingent stands up. We spoke about it in the pre-season. Of course, you've got to have great imports, but you've got to have your Australians to play really well. Or at least Will McDowell-White having a great year.
Correct.
If you look at Sydney, Xavier Cooks and Vasilovic run that essentially. Keanu Pinder in Cairns. Now, your imports are going to have to come in and play a huge role, but if you get it locked in where you have guys, Australian-based talent,
as good as your locals,
away you go. And you've got guys who are playing that really well right now. Now, not Australian-based, but Tyler Harvey was really good. This is what happens. In what has been a bit of a sucky time for Illawarra, he was brilliant. And he has to stand up and deliver games like this to give them chances to win. We know his talent, Liam, and it was on full display on Sunday.
This is part of the heartbreak for the Hawks. They let this blistering performance from Tyler Harvey slip away down the stretch and result in an L. Look at that, all kinds of tough in crunch time. 32 points. They needed him, like you say, to have a massive game, to have a chance. That's now 3 in a row with 20 plus. He's starting to find that form, but all L's 1 and 9 now. Absolute heartbreak. Would have been such a big win for that organisation to get that over the arch rivals, and it just slipped away from them.
Man, back in the day, this league, you can have one really good player and still wins. You can't do it anymore. If you don't have any help, I don't care how well you play. You can get a 40-piece L. It ain't a cupcake league. You need help. He does not have that. So hopefully with the new addition of Mike Frazier, hopefully he comes in, Peyton Siva will be back healthy, and hopefully they can get some wins. Because right now, that was the closest thing to a win. And they couldn't even get that.
Yeah.
Ain't no wins coming no time soon. He doesn't have any help. That's the reality of it.
Michael Frazier comes in, of course, a man that's well known to the NBL fraternity last year, Perth Wildcats. And honestly, probably didn't go the way that a lot of people, one, in particular the Red Army, were hoping. Not necessarily the fault of Michael Frazier at different times. Of course, what happened late in the year when they were trying to make a change, the way that he handled it speaks volumes of his class and his character, both in and outside. I'm talking internally, of course, from what we hear, how great he was with the conversations having with Perth Wildcats coaching staff and management, and externally when facing the media and the way that he spoke. Couldn't speak any highly of it. Now he's got to come in, gets an opportunity. He's playing minutes, right? If last year, if things didn't suit for whatever reason, he ain't got that excuse this time because he's rolling straight in. He'll start and away he goes. What do you make of it?
He might start eventually. Probably not right away.
Okay, he may not start this weekend, but if you're going to go and grab him, you're not bringing him off the bench,
No. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I tell you what, though. It's very cool that he gets this other opportunity.
True.
Because it was really rough the way things worked out last season. And I think we all felt for him. And you're right, everyone within the organisation talked about the great character that he showed throughout that trying time. The only thing is, character is great. It's important, really important. You got to come out and get it done. And Perth signed him because they felt like he could do that. And now Illawarra have given him that other opportunity. I hope, and I tweeted this, I just hope he comes out here and lights it up. and just really gives them a punch, because it will be a great story off the back of what happened last season.
Here's what I think is going to happen. You see, when you're an import and you go to the wrong team due to their rotation, they had a logjam at that position, and that wasn't the right position they should have recruited for. Anyway, you're getting paid to play. So if you're not going to play me and I'm still getting paid, what am I complaining for? This is what the situation is. I'm going to be quiet, get my money, on to the next. That's the job of an import. Kicking up a fuss ain't doing nothing for you. You're not going to play, so just chill out. You're going to get paid. All right, cool. He leaves, he comes back. This is actually a better situation for him. He's coming in with no pressure. We're 1-9, right? You alongside Tyler Harvey. You bring a lot of the things that they actually need. You're going to get the ball. You're going to get minutes. Coach is like, look, do your thing, man. He's going to rock out.
Good luck to him, and he does. Second chance here in the NBL. Let's talk about a team that, well, I can't really say second chance, because for the last 2 years, they've been stuck away from home battling and trying to get dubs and build some momentum, of which you spoke so well to last year they couldn't get because they never got to go home. Well, New Zealand, forget what's happened. This is a legitimate championship team. If anyone's been sleeping, maybe me for a week or two too long, the people around me, Liam, Santa Maria and Corey, have been on it. And again, a ripping weekend for the Breakers, who right now are everybody's second favourite team.
They're my first favourite team, because I just love the way this team is playing basketball right now. And it's all part of the story. You know, it's so great to see them playing at this great level after the struggles of these last 2 years that were outside of their control. And, mate, they're so competitive. They're so aggressive. They're so bought in. They're courageous. I love the way they're defending. It starts with Derek Pardon for me, which is funny because often it starts with the point guard up the floor. And Isaiah Leafa and Barry Brown Jr., these guys are aggressive and good defenders. Derek Pardon is absolutely elite at what he's doing at that 5 spot. But as a group, Modi Mayor all the way down, I just love the way this team plays. And if you aren't thinking about this team as a championship contender, as a team that you're going to need to go through to win the title, and a team who may actually win the whole thing, then you are snoozing on this group.
Faith has been restored. I had to write this down earlier today. Coach is getting the best out of the team. As I mentioned earlier, definitely candidate top 3 for Coach of the Year. They 8-3. I'm getting a phone call. We can't talk at the moment. Derek Pardon, controlling the paint.
I thought you meant Derek Pardon was calling.
No,
Answer this, bad boy.
It's a good friend of mine, Benny, L.A. Bobby Brown Jr. For him to be coming off of your bench, he's as good as on any other team he can start in the league. So to have a starter coming off your bench buying in, it gives you that extra punch coming off the bench because he's playing starters minutes, right? He's been balling out. Brantley, two-way player, getting it done. So here's what's awesome about this team. You got your imports right. Check. Your locals are balling. Check. Your imports have bought into what you want them and need them to do. They're consistent. Defense, they're aggressive. At offense, they're aggressive at both ends. There's nothing easy or sweet about this team. If you don't show up, you're taking the L. These are road warriors, and they're getting it done at home as well. They're confident, man. Like, this is not a team you want to see. They are legit. They're legit contenders.
You talk about Brown and Modi Mayor. This is why I think he'll be Coach of the Year, right? Because it's not easy to have a guy who is a legitimate star in this league to buy in coming off the bench. Still plays, I think, the most minutes in the team. But it's like, hey, it's not about who starts, it's about who finishes. Bought in 100%, doesn't sulk, plays well. And we have spoken a lot. And we mentioned it when Will McDowell-White was on the huddle with you and he gave you some numbers. And we were like, if he puts those numbers up, he'll be the MVP. Now, he hasn't quite got to those numbers, but he is controlling these games as well as anyone in the league. He is quarterbacking this Breakers team perfectly. And we know he's had his injury issues and all the rest of it in the last couple of years. Will McDowell-White is in total control of everything that happens on the floor. It's a big reason. Imports flying, but we talk about the local contingent. He's a massive reason why they are where they are.
And they've got upside.
Yeah.
They've got upside. Now, we've mentioned the fact that they're first in defense, right? Why? Because they're first in defensive effective field goal percentage. They make you miss. They play really sound, solid defense. They're up and in. They force you late into the shot clock. They make you miss. Thing is, they're last in defensive rebounding percentage. So they are given, their last 5 games in a row, they've given their opponent double-digit offensive rebounds. So something to focus on, something to improve, clean that up. Now it's even tougher to score against this squad. And just quietly, last few years, we've talked about Dame Pinot. He's the best guy at showing and guarding the on-ball. No, Derek Pardon is that guy now.
Deep Pardon, man.
If you're a big guy and you're learning the trade on how to get up and guard ball screens, watch Derek Pardon. He stops the ball handler every single time and then recovers back to his man. It's a beautiful thing and it's something to watch.
The only thing they haven't stopped, really, honestly, are hand clappers. Let's get to a break. They got 4 of their next 5 at home as well, so the Breakers fans are going to go to a whole new level. They're already intense, they're energised, and it's so fun to watch. A very quick break. We are NBL Overtime.
Taipans want to be a contender this season, and they make a statement.
They're going to harass you in the on-ball coverage, they're going to try and smother you on the rebound, and then they're going to go down the other end and they're going to execute their offense.
Cairns keep it rolling.
And this is the great thing about Cairns, and everyone's bought in. So the guys that we're bringing in, you've got to commit. You're going to commit to this, and as much as we commit to you, you've got to give back to the program.
They are going to be so fun to watch all season long.
I thrive in that environment myself because it's fun.
Really exciting times in far north Queensland. And that's why you don't want to miss a Cairns Taipans game.
Welcome back to NBL Overtime. If you're a Taipans fan, you're loving it. If you aren't, you probably aren't as much, but you still got to respect what they're doing because they are. As Adam Ford there said, buying into everything. And again, we speak about the bench depth and players standing up for Sydney. Similar things with Cairns. Injuries left, right and centre. I'll be honest, I thought there was another clip of Adam Ford, what he said on the weekend we could have played out of the ad break, but the lawyers said we're not allowed to repeat it, so we couldn't. But I like the passion. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
No? About the motto? Don't worry about yesterday?
Okay.
No idea. Okay, cool. That went well. Man, they're playing well.
I call this game.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a couple of things I want to talk about.
Here we go.
45 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, 4 blocks. DJ Hogue, Keanu Penda combined dominated that game. DJ Hogue did not come out of second gear. This dude is the real deal. There's nothing he can't do on the court. He's a point forward who can stretch the floor, create for others as well as himself. I'm calling this game, and I'm just like, yo, if you got any problem, just get a ball to Hogue. He's a matchup nightmare. They couldn't do anything with him. Guess who else was beautiful? Scott. 10 assists, no turnovers. Floor general, you talk about Will McDowell-White, floor general. Shannon Scott, they can't take him out the lineup, okay? I don't care when TJ McCall gets 1,000%. You got to keep him coming off the bench. This formula is working. TJ's going to get his minutes. Go hard while you in there. You come out, you share the ball, you do what you do while you there, open court, knock yourself out. In the half court, give the ball to Scott. Let him control this offense. They were fantastic. Bukwa got in foul trouble, but he loves that arena. He hit 4 threes while he was out there. I don't know, maybe 4 of 7 or something like that from 3, but 14 points. That team, at some point in the game, twice, looked like they were in trouble. Let me tell you what I love more about it. This is that a la Phil Jackson type of stuff. Brisbane goes on a run. Coach Ford could have called timeout. He's like, play. Play through the turbulence because that's when we're going to see our true character. Here's the test, and Cairns, both times, with their back on the ropes, they passed that test. And they went to a next level. Peter Hooley and I call that game. Peter was like, they flipped the switch. They scored. They went on a 14-0 run in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It was like, boom, we back up 10. Kansas for real, man.
For the next 5 at home as well, they can build that momentum. And what Adam Ford spoke about, you got to buy into the community, and the community always buys into the team, win or lose. And right now, they've got a next month, a little bit less, where I think that whole joint's going to be electric.
Yeah, they're rolling. Adam Ford, how's the recruiting? He puts so much time and effort into these guys. DJ Hogue, Sam Wardenberg, Keanu Pinder, Bull Quall. Like, this guy has just been kicking butt.
There's no better coach. There would be no other coach that could have done and gotten out of this unit like him. No other coach.
And it starts with who you're bringing in, knowing that they're going to work for how you want to go about it. You're going to relate to them, and it's a beautiful thing. And they are legit.
I just love the fact that we're on here talking about majority of these teams that we usually don't discuss.
Bottom two last season.
I love that. That just shows you the growth of this league. And the best thing about NBL 23 is it's unpredictable. It's not the usual. See, years ago we knew. I was telling Cam off camera before you walked in. We knew, Perth, Melbourne. That's not the case. And I think that's the best thing about NBL 23. Nothing against Melbourne or Perth, but it's just a fresh crop of teams and a fresh crop of players leading the way.
And this is why we've spoken about this in the past. The NBL set up nicely, so in an off-season, you can actually overhaul your entire roster. Now, you want that consistency, and you want to continually have good Australian players that can push forward for a number of reasons. But there is no reason in the off-season you can't go, okay, we can win a championship or contend for a championship next year. This isn't the AFL where you have to go through the draft system and it can take 5, 6, 7 years. The professional league, bang, we're going to look at this. You go around it different ways, and Adam Ford's done that and done it so far really successfully, and looks like it's going to work because they're great and they're fun to watch. But that's the best thing about the NBL. Every offseason, every management, coach, GM, whatever it is, like, you know what we're going to do?
Scott Roth and Tassie.
We're going to go get some more cash then. Adelaide hasn't quite worked yet, but we're like, this is what we're going to do. And I think that's huge for it. All right. No, okay. Apparently this is true.
What's wrong?
Well, I'll talk about spending cash. Go on, Liam. What? Look at it. No, come, mate. You've had a big week. Yeah. Now, there is the budget of NBL Overtime blown, and I'm looking forward to the yes or no stinger in only a couple of minutes.
There'd be a yes or no stinger.
Oh, well,
right?
They bloody well better be. We'll get to that in a moment.
I've been watching all weekend, and shout out to Harley Smith's been watching as well. We're going to start out in Western Australia. And
you want to play it twice?
We're going to play it again.
Oh, come on.
Please. Come on. Andrew Vlahov, I hope this is not about Sanders watching. We're going to try to wake you up, big fella. Oh, come on.
It was late.
They need to do some work on their oops. Melbourne United. They've got a lot of work to do on a lot of things, but the lob plays, Corey.
I know he got hops, but...
Barker, Peatley.
Oh, Lord.
That one's even worse. Trying to find Isaac Humphries. Bang, hard off the backboard. Let's keep it at John Cain Arena. This is when you know a guy's not fully confident about the review, where he's just trying to sneakily, quietly suggest maybe a little bit of a challenge in play here. And again, here, John Cain Arena, Anthony Drimmick, very reliable as a reaction guy on the bench. Very nice, Anthony Drimmick. And over here in New Zealand, keep...
My mom.
Little shout out. And now, the guy on the flame. Look at the flame in the background. Bang.
Oh.
DJ Mitchell loving it. DJ Mitchell's lighting it up. And bang, look at the flame. And then the next possession, he catches it in transition, and he goes a little early.
Oh, no. Fair enough, though. He was hot.
He thought it was going down. And meanwhile, keep an eye on James Duncan. Very up and about. He really enjoyed that. And the coaches were really pulling out the dance moves this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like that, Corey?
What's going on here?
What is that?
He was calling.
Trying to call.
Believe it or not, he was calling for a travel.
Yeah, well, fair enough. There you go. On that note, we've got a new stinger. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
It's NBL Overtime. A lot of fun, a lot of attitude. That's what the NBL gives us each and every week. We're not too far away from seeing it all again. And to be honest, watching that stuff on the weekend reminded me of the greatest attitude and the greatest celebration of all time. Hit it!
Oh.
Get above, get up there.
Wow.
Look at that, man. That's when you're in shape, man. Look at that.
Swing it around.
Straight out the gym. Yeah, keep running. Don't worry about the end of the game, man. Just worry about the celebration.
Love Nation, baby.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah, and see, that's when you turn around and say to John, really, you're going to coach this franchise one year, I reckon.
That was wild.
All right, yes or no, play the stinger.
Hold on, is there a
Oh.
Come on, give the man a stinger.
Has the coaches' challenge conversation, the concern been overblown?
Yes.
Does Tassie have a crowd behaviour problem?
No.
Will Daly be Australia's first head NBA coach?
No.
In the playground, would you select Keanu Pinder over Derek Pardon?
Damn, that's a good question.
So answer it.
I take either or.
Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Wow.
All right. Yes or no? We're getting out of it. That's a rubbish again by you.
Can't answer
We're
that
going
yet.
home.
Oh, that
See ya.
man.
Hell